For over 40 years now, there's been this sound. A single, monotonous buzzing, broadcasting out of Russia, all day, every day, 24/7. It's a signal that has never once explained itself, and because of that, it's become one of the greatest mysteries of the radio age. And this quote, well, it really hits the nail on the head. This is so much more than just some dusty, forgotten relic. In fact, in just the last few years, the station's gotten even more active and a lot more bizarre. It's turned this old Cold War curiosity into something people are intensely speculating about right now. If you had a shortwave radio, you could tune it to 4625 kilohertz and hear it for yourself, and you wouldn't be the only one listening. For decades, that sound has absolutely captivated a whole community of people. We're talking radio enthusiasts, intelligence agencies, conspiracy theorists, you name it. So what exactly is everyone so obsessed with? Well, officially, the station goes by a few different call signs. The most famous one is probably UVB 76, but to the thousands of people who listen to it, it has a much simpler and honestly a more fitting name, the buzzer. And this is really the core of the whole mystery. For almost half a century, this station has done pretty much one thing, and one thing only: broadcast a short, repetitive buzz. Now, the sound has changed a little over the years. It started as more of a 2-second pip, but it's the sheer unrelenting persistence of it that makes it so incredibly strange. But it's not just a buzz. Every now and then, the buzzing stops, and it's replaced by a voice. A live voice speaking in Russian, reading out these totally cryptic messages, just names, numbers, and weird code words. And what's even stranger, listeners have sworn they've heard background chatter, like someone left a hot mic on, which just proves that there are real people behind this phantom signal. And that human element, that's exactly why thousands of people all over the world have dedicated themselves to monitoring and trying to decode the buzzer's every move. They're trying to piece together its purpose, its history, anything they can find. And just to make things a little more confusing, the station doesn't even keep the same name. Its main call sign has changed multiple times, from the well-known UVB 76 to what it's using today, NZHTI. And every change kind of suggests this isn't some forgotten piece of tech, but a living, breathing, active operation. The station's whole history is full of these strange little events, but the biggest shocker came in 2010. After decades of broadcasting from one spot near Moscow, the transmitter just went silent. And then it started back up again, but from a completely different location near St. Petersburg. This sudden, unexplained move just threw gasoline on the fire of curiosity. So, a year later, a group of urban explorers decided to sneak into the original, now abandoned military base. And they found pretty much what you'd expect: derelict buildings, broken gear, and even a logbook with transmission details from 2005. But they also found something they definitely didn't expect: a guard dog, still chained up, apparently just left behind when they packed up in a hurry. So all of this brings us to the big question, right? What is this station actually for? I mean, the mystery has spawned countless theories, everything from the totally mundane to the downright terrifying. Let's start with the most straightforward ideas. Okay, so there are two main conventional theories. On one side, some experts think the buzz is just a channel marker, a cheap, low-tech way of saying, hey, this frequency is ours, stay off. On the other side, a lot of people are convinced it's a classic number station, a tool for sending coded messages to spies, kind of like the famous British station, the Lincolnshire Poacher. And look, those theories are plausible, for sure, but they don't quite explain the chilling, non-stop persistence of the signal. And that leads us to a much darker, much more dramatic possibility, one that puts the buzzer right at the center of a potential doomsday scenario. This is the theory that made the buzzer famous: the idea that it is connected to a rumored Soviet-era nuclear retaliation system known in the West as the Dead Hand. The system's official name is Perimeter, and it was designed to be the ultimate deterrent. The idea was simple, and also completely terrifying. Even if a nuclear first strike managed to wipe out Russia's entire leadership, the Dead Hand would guarantee a devastating, automated counterattack. So, how does the buzzer fit into all this? Well, according to this theory, the constant buzzing is a signal of life. It's a heartbeat that says everything is okay. If the station were to suddenly go silent, maybe because its command centers were vaporized in a nuclear attack, that silence would be the trigger. The logic here is just chilling. First, sensors all over Russia would detect a nuclear attack. This system would then try to connect with human leadership. If there is no answer, it would assume the worst and autonomously launch a special command rocket. That rocket, while in the air, would then broadcast launch orders to everything, every silo, every sub. It's a machine literally built to guarantee mutual assured destruction. Now, for decades, this was just a theory, a spooky story. But recent events have dragged the buzzer out of the shadows and right into the middle of modern conflict, with some really bizarre results. Starting in 2022, the station's frequency was repeatedly targeted by pirates. I mean, you have to imagine this. For stretches of time, the monotonous buzz was replaced by size Gangnam-style memes you could only see on a spectrum analyzer, and even the Ukrainian coat of arms. It was this surreal mashup of internet culture and Cold War doomsday time. Now, there's a really important technical difference here. This wasn't some sophisticated hack. The general agreement is that these pirates were simply hijacking the frequency, basically just using a more powerful transmitter to drown out the buzzer's original signal. It's a total brute force method, but hey, it was surprisingly effective. But the memes and the music, that was really just a prelude. The event that proved the buzzer was a very real, very physical target in a modern war happened on this day. Then, on November 14th, the buzzing stopped. A Telegram channel that monitors the station posted this message, claiming the outage was because of a Ukrainian drone strike on the station's power supply. For the very first time, a real-world military action had reportedly taken Russia's ghost radio off the air. It was a stark confirmation of its strategic importance today. Which, of course, leaves us right back where we started, with this central question. Is the buzzer just some bizarre relic, a piece of Cold War history that just refuses to die? Or is it still a key part of Russia's strategic military network, a quiet, buzzing heartbeat that could, one day, be the prelude to something far more terrifying? The buzzing continues, and so does the mystery.